Hello, hello.
Hi, guys.
How are you all?
We're back.
Yes. Trail Talk back for 2 episodes this week.
I know.
We are right back on the trail.
Getting right
Mary.
back into it.
Yeah, we are. It just took us a little bit longer than normal, but hey.
It was the holidays.
Right, yeah. Kicking off the year. It
takes a little bit to get back in the groove.
But we are here and we have a fantastic Animals on the Trail list. Let me make sure I'm out of the way. Animals on the Trail lesson for you today. We're going to study badgers and black bears.
That's a lot of bees.
You know what that reminds me of? The Office, where Jim.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
For you Office fans watching, I know you'll get that.
No.
So. Anyway, let's start off by talking about these. We're going to give you guys a little overview, and then we kind of have a special treat for you. We're going to go on the trail.
We're going deep on in.
Yeah, and seeing some of these animals in their natural habitat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's go to the next slide.
Slide.
There. Yeah. Show you a. In just one moment, we will advance.
Please stand by.
Yes. So you know what? While it's not going, we are going to. Okay.
We're going to be talking
Yeah,
about
we'll talk about
badgers.
Badgers. So there are several types of badgers.
Yeah, it's not just a blanket.
Right.
There's different species within the badger family.
Right, and around the world.
Mm-hmm.
They're very different depending on where you would be out in nature to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about badgers in Oklahoma, we're talking about the American.
Right, the American badger.
Badger, not the honey badger who doesn't care.
Right. He doesn't care.
But our friend the badger here in Oklahoma is a carnivore.
Right.
So they are going to be meat eaters.
They like the meat.
They're actually, let me find that word. Oh, dang, I looked that word up.
The carnivore.
The one that started with the F. Anyway, it means that they are burrowing animals. So they burrow underground, and that is where they find the bulk of the food that they eat.
Right. I'm still looking for it for you.
Oh, okay. So they are animals that live underground, like prairie dogs, rabbits, animals like that.
It's fossorial carnivores.
That's it. Fossorial, kind of like a fossil, but fossorial means an animal that burrows under the ground. Now, badgers are their homes are not called burrows.
No, they are not.
They have a different name.
They are called no.
Yeah, well, we are
sets.
Set, yes,
Sets.
set. S-E-T-T
Mm-hmm.
is what you call the badger's home instead of a burrow. Can we have a picture of a badger? I think our next slide. There we go.
Look
at
they
this
look
little guy.
cuddly and like a little fuzzy little animal you want to take home
So
until you get to the claws.
Yeah, look at the size of those claws there. They are related to otters, polecats, weasels, and ferrets. And I think this picture gives you a good look of that kind of weasel-like face.
Snout.
It's kind of pointed and goes back. But this white stripe right here
that reminds me of the skunk.
Exactly. But this is kind of why they're called badgers. It's like this was like a badge that they had on their bodies, and so like it's a kind of a European heritage as far as the word goes, or not. Heritage is not the right word. Origin. Right, a European origin on the word, and it has to do with that white stripe. But they have these distinctive black and white stripes on their face.
Kind of like a raccoon.
Yes, similar to a raccoon. And then the gray fur on their bodies. And these claws are used for digging. That's because they live underground, and that's where they find their food.
And defenses. They have to defend themselves in a way as well.
That is true too. So the baby badger is called a kit.
Like a kitten or a kit cat.
And in North America, they call they call the moms and dads, the males and females, male and female.
Keep it simple.
Right. They don't have a special name for them here
No.
in North America. I'm getting some hand signals from behind the camera.
I
Maybe they're wanting us to point
I
out
wear
that
a
Mary
crown
is
all
wearing
the
a crown
time.
today.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can read that. It says happy birthday.
It's my birthday.
It's Mary's birthday. Yeah. It's Mary's birthday. And
I'm wearing a badge.
if you want to play along, please guess Mary's age.
Low.
Just fill in on the comment section there. We'll tell you. Yeah.
Low.
Guess Mary's age. Okay. So moving on about the badgers, they're loners except when they're breeding and they have a family
They're very
unit.
solitary animal.
Mhm, yeah, pretty solitary. And they have a short, wide body, short legs,
Mhm.
strong jaws.
They're only about 90 centimeters length.
Right.
That's including their tail. It's about
Yeah.
35 inches.
So, yeah.
Not very big.
They're not that big. And they are nocturnal.
Which
So-
means they're awake at night.
Yeah, so chances are you're not going to run into a badger out on a hike, something like that.
No.
And they were, of course, they've been around in Europe. There's a European badger, and there was a big sport of hunting badgers, and the dachshund, which we're going to have 2 little dachshunds come visit us tomorrow.
I know. I'm
The
excited
dachshund was actually bred
to hunt the
to
badger,
hunt badgers.
which I did not
So-
realize until we started studying this.
Right. Yeah. So there's a little known fact you may
Yeah.
not have been aware of. And
No.
I'm guessing it's because they would fit into the hole. The
sets.
little dachshund fits down in the hole
Mhm.
where the badger has dug and can go down
They
into
have
the
those
tunnel.
longer bodies.
Mhm.
Yep.
So you can hang on to their tail and let them drop them down. I'm just kidding. I have no idea how you would
we
do
do
that.
not endorse animal cruelty.
No, we
here.
do not. We do not. But they historically, the badger hair has been used for brushes.
Yeah.
Native Americans used it like for
Paintbrushes.
brushes. And some cultures eat badger meat. Native Americans and early European settlers actually ate badger meat here in the U.S. It's not really a thing here anymore.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but it was in
Yeah.
hundreds
A
of
thing.
years ago.
Yeah.
But shaving brushes, I'm thinking like the kind that
Oh, you
they
do
the lather
yeah.
and put it on. Those are made
Good bristle
from the hair
of a badger.
of a badger, and
Interesting.
they hold water.
Oh
Their
yeah.
hair holds water,
Right.
moisture, so it makes for a good
Okay.
thing. Yeah. So I thought this was. Let's go on. We have another picture of a badger. We'll show you. Now this one you can see.
He's Spike.
Yeah, got some hold of right there,
Mhm.
and you can see some of the residual here on the dirt.
He has been working.
So if you were to come up upon something that looked like this, chances are you're close to a
badger hole.
badger set.
Mhm.
And so you'd want to kind of beware there. But for all of you Potterheads out there, Harry Potter fans,
I do know that one.
yeah, Hufflepuff's mascot is
A
the
badger.
badger. All right. Yeah. And it's because they live quietly until attacked, and when provoked, can fight off animals much larger than themselves, which resembles the Hufflepuff house. So I thought
right.
that was,
Yeah.
And then, of course, Wisconsin badgers.
Right.
I did think it was interesting that badgers and coyotes have been known to hunt together. They have
Really?
actually been observed
They
in the
team up.
wild. They team up and hunt food together.
That's interesting. You would think the coyote would think of the badger more as a meal.
But I don't know, maybe they're just kind of ferocious enough that the coyote doesn't want to mess
Yeah.
with them or something. But
They
anyway,
play off one
they
another.
have been observed in nature hunting together,
Interesting.
which I find that to be very interesting.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to
The
some black
bear.
bears, and we'll go over a little information with the black bear. Okay, so black bears, believe it or not, actually live in Oklahoma.
Yeah, we do have them here.
In the far southeast part of Oklahoma, but they have been known to wander.
They do.
They wander across the state. Let's see if we can see the picture of the black bears right here. Yeah,
now
these are younger bears, probably maybe not even a year old here.
I just think they're so cute.
But in southeastern Oklahoma, their population grows like 5 to 6% each year.
That's a lot of bears.
And so they're so near Arkansas that in 1980, Arkansas opened up a bear hunting season.
Really? Because so many had crossed over.
I don't know that there's a bear hunting season in Oklahoma, but this is just a really great picture. The next picture, if we can go to that one, this is a map that indicates where bear sightings have been. Here's the concentration. So this is the Ouachita Mountains, I can't remember how to spell that.
Ouachita.
Okay, down here, and then there's another little area of concentration. You can see this obviously goes over into Arkansas. Right. But this is where they live. Now they have been seen on the west side of I-35, which is kind of crazy. But then also right up in here in very near Oklahoma City, I would think, as far as bears wandering up that direction. Well, hello, Stefan.
You're back.
We are so glad you're
back.
Glad to see you here today. So I'm going to move around. Yeah, we're going to go into the natural habitat now of where these animals are and continue talking about them.
We have some great things to show you guys.
So I'm going to leave you with Mary.
Okay, so we are going to, in a minute, we are going to go into our animal diorama where we have our animals on display here at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center in Duncan, Oklahoma. We're going to be able to go and look at actual badger and an actual black bear up close and personal. Now, of course, they are not alive. We would not attempt to go up to one close and encounter one like this, but we're going to be able to see one nonetheless. So we're going to come right over here. We're going to join Miss Edie, who's already in.
Hello, I'm back. I'm probably in the dark, but that's okay. I'm kind of hiding just a little bit from the badger. I don't want him to know I'm here.
Cross over.
Yeah, I don't want him to see me back here, but right down here, there you go. There's Mr. Badger.
Here he is.
Yeah, we're gonna not pet him too closely.
You can see his sharp claws here.
Very long, sharp
Really
claws.
long.
His head is wide at the top, but look at how narrow then his nose is. I mean, I think it's
probably about not even as wide as the knuckle on my face.
Yeah, and that's that weasel connection that they have. The small ears, yeah, the very easy to see stripes on the face, the head, and then the grayish body, which, like most animals, they're going to be colored. The coloration is going to be as near their surroundings as possible.
You can see here he does really blend in nicely too, just to the rocks that we have here on display.
Right.
So imagine if he, was out in the wild.
Yeah. So the grasses, that coloration, if they were in a more rocky region, probably a little more on the gray side, like the pictures that we saw on the PowerPoint.
Right.
So that is an adaptation that most animals have. And, we talk about these animals. I saw that my head looked like my mom took a picture of me. Just kidding, Mom. If these are animals that cowboys would have seen out on the Chisholm Trail. And that's why we study the animals that we study here on Trail Talk, is because these are the creatures. So imagine the danger a badger hole would present
For all
to herds of cattle,
the horses,
horses.
the cowboys themselves.
right? So being a cowboy on the trail, these are kinds of things that maybe you don't consider, is the kind of just small dangerous
Right.
things that they would encounter.
They need to live, but we're dangerous for
Right.
everyone else involved.
Right, because I mean, that hole, it doesn't have to be gigantic, but
It's
a
big
12-inch hole is going to really present a problem. A
Yeah,
hoof could
big enough for
easily
them.
go in
Exactly.
there,
Exactly.
and so that could be a real problem. And this guy right here,
The skunk.
the skunk, I don't know if you can tell here, but the skunk is the weasel. Just a kind of a comparison, we all see dead skunks on
Mhm.
the side of the road and walking around different places. So you can kind of get a good idea of the size of the badger compared to the skunk here.
Right.
So
The badger does have some size on
Yeah.
the skunk.
yeah, he does. And the skunk has a twig like stuck on his body there. And that's the only time you'll see me handle a skunk. So, just in case you're wondering if I'm friendly to skunks or not.
And that was it, folks. You saw it here.
Yeah, you saw it here on Trail
The
Talk.
first and only time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think we're going to take just a minute now to adjust and move over to where our friend the black bear is. So we're going to give our camera crew a chance to move over. I'm going to delicately, whoa, that wasn't so delicate, make my way around here. So here we are. Here is our black bear. You can see him. Though our friend the rattlesnake decided to say hi to you guys. Okay, so this is Buddy, the black bear. We're just gonna call him Buddy today. These bears, I mean, I have not seen one in the wild in Oklahoma. I don't know if any of you have, but if you have seen a bear in Oklahoma and you happen to take a picture of it, I think it would be so great to ask you to send us one of those pictures. Don't you think that would be awesome, Miss Mary?
It would.
Why don't you come on
I'm gonna
around.
Come on in.
Come on around, Bessie or Bully or whatever the cow's name is.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, can you?
Back.
There we go. Well, maybe here. Come
You
on
want me
over
back over
this
there?
way. Yeah, come over this
Okay.
way. We'll stand here and
Okay.
there.
All right.
Okay, there. See a little more wildlife there. Oh, and he shows up really good with you in front or behind him there, Mary. That's good.
Okay.
Okay, so very interesting things about these black bears. I mean, besides the fact that we have bears in Oklahoma, which I think is super cool.
I know.
I think that's really cool.
Even if they're not actually here in our area all the time.
Right.
The fact that we just have them in Oklahoma is an essence itself.
Right now, back in the days of the Chisholm Trail, all of Oklahoma would have had black bears. Black bear populations would have covered the entire state, but they were kind of they moved away because people,
Started
came
coming
in. They cleared the land. They took their habitat away. They were killed.
Their furs were very, very valuable.
Right, their fur was very valuable. People like to eat bear meat. I
Mhm.
mean,
Jesse Chisholm,
if
for
you
one.
if you remember, Jesse Chisholm was that was his favorite food,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, the food poisoning
Right.
from eating the bear meat was what
Caused his demise.
caused his ultimate death. But anyway, so Oklahoma has the two populations of black bears. And so that means that they are actually separate. They have not intermingled with each other. They actually have
They
the
still
two
remain
separate black bear, I guess you kind of could call them communities
Right.
or colonies.
Yeah.
Probably would be a good word.
Bear colonies.
Right, yeah. So after the bears moved away from Oklahoma in the late 1900s, they brought about 250 black bears from northern Minnesota and Manitoba, Canada, and put them over in those two areas of southeastern Oklahoma. And those populations have increased then 5 to 6% every year until, like we were talking, they opened a hunting season for the bears. So they've really
and that was
bounced
about
back.
1980.
Yeah, okay, 1980. So, in 40 years, that population of 250 has
grow that population.
Yeah, has really, really grown. But the interesting thing, I think, is the sightings of these bears. In southeastern Oklahoma, people don't think anything about seeing a bear,
No.
up at their house. But why would a bear go to an area where people live? Well, naturally, looking for food.
They're hungry.
They're hungry. And if you have a pet and you keep their food outdoors, if you have garbage out and you live near where the bears are,
they're going to smell that.
They're going to smell it, and they're going to come rifle through and find their food. So
they have excellent senses of smell.
Right.
So they're able to smell for long distances. So just because you haven't seen one doesn't mean there's not one close by, because they can smell and pick up on that scent.
Exactly.
If they're hungry, they're going to come looking.
And there are a lot of camping areas over in the southeastern part of Oklahoma, along the border over there with Arkansas. And so if you're camping, you need to take extra precaution with your food and your garbage, so you don't
end up
with a bear, scratching on your tent or whatever, because they will come looking for food, especially the times of year when there's not as much food available, like August. August is a time when bears can be seen out looking for food, because everything in Oklahoma is dry, right? It's brown, it's crackly, and there's just not that much food to eat. June and July, they're rarely seen, because those are the seasons when berries are growing, and the bears are able to forage and find all those berries that they can eat. They're really omnivores, I guess you would say, because they eat insects, grubs, berries, fish, and carrion. Which, when I say carrion,
heard of before.
Yeah, carrion, CARRION.
It doesn't mean you're going on a trip.
No, it's not your carry-on that you're taking with you on the plane. It is the remains of a dead animal. So if a black bear comes up on a carcass, or something that has already been killed and has already been partially
like
eaten,
a roadkill.
Yes, yeah. They will eat that, and that is called carrion. So they are omnivores. They'll eat meat and plants both. So encountering a black bear in Oklahoma is a real possibility, and it's something that you absolutely. Our rattlesnake is really happy to be.
He is happy
involved today. Yeah, he likes it when people get close to him. We don't like him all that much, but yeah. So most of these bears that are spotted out wandering around, especially near I-35, they are young, like 1 to 2 year old male bears that been kicked out by mom. She said, "You're on your own.
It's time for you to find your own place."
They're not mature enough to breed with any females, and they kind of got run off by the other males. And so they're off wandering around, and really, if they're just left alone, they're just curious, and they're just going to walk around, and then they're going to go back to wherever it is they would normally live. So in the months of June and July, when there's a lot of food, that's also the breeding season for black bears. But they have this very interesting adaptation.
Really cool, guys. This is cool.
Yeah, there's this adaptation that black bears have, and they breed, and the blastocyte is formed, but it does not attach itself. There is a delayed, delayed implantation. And so that blastocyte does not implant so that it can continue to grow into a cub until the female bear is ready to go into hibernation. And only It only implants itself if she has enough stored energy to last her through the winter,
How cool is
through
that?
hibernation.
It's like you have to, their bodies have to pass a test
Yes,
in order
essentially.
to carry a child or a cub.
A cub. So the cub is resorbed into the female's body if she doesn't have enough energy stored up, enough fat. But it will, well, that does two things. So it ensures that the female survives hibernation. If
And the
she,
cub is in it as well.
or if the cub isn't born,
Right,
you know,
right.
yeah. And it keeps the population down, because if there was not enough food for her to eat and to store up enough fat to last her through the winter, there's no reason to increase the population of the bears in that area. And so it's just a natural way to keep the population down. I just love
It just
that.
amazes me how
Yes.
things like that work.
Nature is like the best.
Nature's got it down.
There are so many things that that happen like that, but they don't breed until they're like between 3 and 5 years of age. And another interesting thing that we found out, so if there were a male and female bear and they were born this year, and they matured, they mated, and they had the normal number of cubs, you know, 2 to 5 is possible. Typically they have 2. If those all survived and lived, then in 10 years, there would be 15 of black bears from that pair.
Right.
If you look for comparison, white-tailed deer in 10 years produce 1,400
How
offspring.
crazy is that?
So
Crazy.
the bears are the slowest producing mammal that lives in the United States. I thought that was a very interesting
I know.
thing to know. So another thing that happens in hibernation is their paws like shed off, and they get fresh paws to start
It's like
whenever the winter's over.
little petty.
Yeah.
Send you back
A little
out.
mani-pedi happens while they're hibernating. That's kind of nice for everybody involved. And then one thing too is when these cubs are born, now these bears get pretty big, pretty heavy, you know. When the cubs are born, they weigh about a tenth of what a human baby weighs, and they're born blind. So they're very tiny and they're completely helpless.
They're very dependent upon their mother.
They're born during hibernation in January and February, and the mother nurses them.
That way they're protected. They're not out amongst the elements and
Right.
the predators.
Which brings to mind something that we had discussed in the past, Mary. It sounds like the female bears don't get to sleep all through hibernation, and the
No.
males do.
Yeah, we've discussed that.
Yeah.
And
Food for thought for you guys, just food for
yeah,
thought. Yeah.
Not all species are that much
Or-
different.
yeah. Exactly. So anyway, if you happen to find yourself face to face with a black bear, don't play dead.
No,
Do not play dead.
no,
Don't run at them like you're
No.
going to attack them.
no.
What you're going to want to do is make yourself big. Put
Big
out
as
your
possible.
arms,
Tippy
stand on your toes.
toes.
Yeah, make yourself big. If you're a child,
You have a coat on, lift your coat up.
yeah. If you're a child, be sure you get your grown up, okay? And stand up big and make as much noise as you can, because yeah, in reality, those bears do not want anything to do with people,
Mm-mm.
and we don't want
They're
anything to
gonna
do with
think you're
them.
crazy and run away.
Yeah, most likely they'll run away,
Mhm.
you know. So that's your bear safety tip for the day.
Now you know.
We people, if you want to know what our bear's name is, he's Buddy. This is Buddy the bear.
Betty the black bear.
Buddy the black bear. Yeah. So
He's very soft.
and he's very, very nice. He's a
If
sweet
Maria
little
was here
bear.
now, she'd be petting it.
Yeah. He has sharp teeth and long, sharp claws, because sometimes they'll dig into like rotted tree trunks and get the insects out and stuff like that.
And they
So-
do a lot with their nose too.
that wraps it up
I know.
for us.
Not a whole lot today, but you know what? It was a whole lot for a short period of time
Yes.
that we had given you guys a whole bunch of information.
Tons of information. So everything you ever wanted to know about badgers and black bears, you found out.
And
but
birthdays.
If you have badgers, black bears, and birthdays. So if you haven't guessed Mary's age yet, please do that. Also, if you have any questions about badgers or black bears that we didn't answer, please put those in our comments and we will be so happy to find out that information and
Right.
share that with you.
We're never afraid to go tackle a question head on.
Never, no, never afraid.
We're never afraid to say we don't know either.
Yes, that is true. We're ready to learn more if we can. So we're glad you could visit us in our animals' natural habitat today. And I think it's time to sign off.
It is time to sign off,
So-
Stefan.
We will see you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Stella and Bella, the adventure-loving duo of dachshunds, will be here and we'll share some of their books with you. It's going to be really fun.
Have a fun time.
Yeah. So Stefan, are you unmuted, man? Awesome. Okay, we'll say happy trails on 3 then. 1, 2, 3. Happy
Happy
trails.